Mr. Tanadar, the 7 articles of impeachment that you presented to the U.S. Congress, they're not good. You missed the point. They're not legally right. He didn't do that. No one says that.
Even the Democrats are not happy. They're kind of walking away from this guy. They're like, Shri who? From what state? No, we don't know anything about that guy. Defied court orders. No, he didn't, you liar. Facilitate the release. Yeah, read the rest of that opinion. Acted in contempt for violating a settlement agreement for what? Democrats are embarrassing themselves, now trying to impeach Trump. We've been wondering when they were going to do it. They keep calling him this person who's wrecking American democracy and undermining our constitutional order, blah, blah, blah. Will they do something about it? Well, now this guy has, and he has a hard time speaking English because he wasn't born in our country, now wants to use a Trump impeachment effort to raise funds for himself. But he came out and he published today his articles of impeachment. I'll show you just quickly what they are and show you how I think the Republicans are actually taking glee in this, because this guy is such a bad advocate for the Democrats. It can only help the Republicans and the right. And in fact, this guy knows that his impeachment articles are crap. Here's what he said. He says, my articles aren't really a piece of crap at all. They're actually pretty good. Here's what he says.
Nobody has said to me, Mr. Tanadar, the 7 articles of impeachment that you presented to the U.S. Congress, they're not good. You missed the point. They're not legally right. He didn't do that. No one says that.
Yeah, we're all saying that. Even the Democrats are not happy. They're kind of walking away from this guy. They're like, Shri who? From what state? No, we don't know anything about that guy, because it's like perfect. The Republicans like, yeah, no, put him at the top. It's like, we want more of this guy. We want more of Jasmine Crockett, huge fans of her. We think these two should probably run together on a ticket the next cycle. Be great for all of us and the Democratic Party. So he also got scolded by Marjorie Taylor Greene, said, you know, this guy, Shri, is the same guy who abused beagles and abandoned them to die when his testing lab got shut down. He's going to force an impeachment vote on President Trump. Says the Democrats should be so proud to be led by a guy who eliminated beagles. So fitting. Says this thing's dead on arrival, so don't even worry about it. So he was out there filing articles. I think there is some serious concern about his financial affairs, and he might need some of that money to get his house back in order. But I came across this clip. This is how bad this dude is. Doesn't even know his constituency at all. This guy asked him a question. Can you describe to us who you represent? Like, who's in your district? Can you even say who they are? Here is what he sounded like.
I don't know. What are the 5 Grosse Points cities?
Well, look, I'm not here to answer a quiz. I'm here to say that I'm going to fight for the people of Detroit. I'm going to fight for my
constituents. And Grosse Pointe
and all of the Grosse Points and all of Taylor and every part of the 13th district.
Let me just do this real quick. Grosse Pointe Park, Grosse Pointe Woods, Grosse Pointe Farms, and Grosse Pointe Shores. Okay. Right. You know, on your campaign filings, it says occupation. Yours says United States government. Aren't you employed by the people of the United States?
Yeah, I am.
Can you fix that one? Okay, and finally, you're getting nailed with this one. The beagles. You abandoned the beagles, left them to die in their cages at your pharmaceutical testing.
See, look, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's that guy having a tough time out there, now trying to impeach the president. He is, I think, going to have a hard time on this one, but he did submit his articles of impeachment, and they are crap, as you can see here. They're 29 pages, and he's going through a big litany saying that Trump is basically abusing his office, saying, using the power of his office, Trump has engaged in this scheme and course of conduct to subvert the constitutional duty, it's like meaningless, of the United States. And now he's purging career employees of the DOJ. Amazing. That was so awesome when he did that. He also removed people to El Salvador. That was amazing too. We covered that every day. It's awesome. Kilmar Abrego, wife beater Garcia, gone. Absolutely awesome and outstanding. This is awesome. Defied court orders. No, he didn't, you liar. Facilitate the release. Yeah, read the rest of that opinion. Acted in contempt for violating a settlement agreement for what? And conduct enforced disappearances of persons without due process and more, right? Eliminating inspector generals, doing a bunch of amazing things. And so he's usurping the powers of the presidency, and he must pay the consequences for this. But he's not getting a lot of favor on this. They say this is going to be a long shot. He is going to force this basically solo. He started the clock to vote on the 7 articles of impeachment against Trump. Republicans are going to kill this, obviously, but then it's going to force the Democrats into a tough position on a vote many of them don't want to take. His move forces the House to take action by the end of the week unless he withdraws this. Spokespeople for Johnson and Hakeem didn't talk about it. 29 pages, mostly a ranting screed. He told Axios, well, there's some communication with Democrat leadership, but I didn't seek their permission. I just did it because he's got to make some money. But the Democrats got asked about this today, and here was a little bit of that exchange.
Questions? I understand leadership is going to vote to table Congressman Thanadar's impeachment resolution today. Does leadership also plan to do so with Congressman Al Green's impeachment resolution?
Well, resolutions, in order to force a vote, resolutions of privilege have to to be ready, and the individual, the maker of the motion, has to go to the floor and ask for that. We will deal with what is being offered this week. I have said before from this podium that this is not the right approach we should be taking. We'll join members of the leadership team in voting to table that motion. Right now, our focus is on healthcare being stripped away from the American people. That is the most urgent and dire thing that we could be talking about this week. Everything else is a distraction.
All right, so not a lot of enthusiasm for that, and I think they know why. It's not going to be a victory for them. House GOP will continue to, I think, enjoy this. They should promote it. Trump's under attack for the Democrats. Look who their standard bearers are. Sri Thanadar from India and Jasmine Crockett from Texas. Says Democrats are already trying to impeach Trump. Totally political, very not serious. But what do you expect? Not much. They are the Democrats after all.